No, we got Lightsworn Dino.
Okay, and we got this kid over here too.
His deck's wild.
All right. Well, how wild can it be?
It's pretty good. You can set up some stupid boards, and yeah, milling with grass is pretty good.
I know.
All right, so let's start off. We got 3 Raiden. Your main thing you want to search off with charge. It's a good normal summon. It's a tuner, level 4, all that good stuff. Any mills 2, potentially milling 4 if you just leave them on the field, which you don't really want to. Then you got the wolves. It's just a way to extend in a sense. Also a good thing to send off the Brilliant Fusion. And when you mill this off the grass, oh, it feels so good. And also, it's just a good fodder for solo recharge along with the Rider. Next, we got the best normal summon. Well, not really the best normal summon, but like second best normal summon in the deck. Overraptor, just because Overraptor gets you access to your Giant Rex if you mill it, or your Qualtis, which gets you access to your Pill, which also gets your access to the big boy, Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. This card is absolutely insane. I used to play dinosaurs back then, like when like during Zoo format, like True King Dino. This card was extremely impressive during that format. Still is, I believe, but like not as much compared to like all the nutty stuff going on right now. But Book of Eclipse 35, 32 that can attack everything and do 1,000 for every defense position monster is still pretty good in my eyes. And also the Qualtis, which is pretty good to negate any spells or traps, and also a good way to summon turn 1. You never really summon either of them off their own effects, but aside from like the Rex, but you summon the Qualtis off the Pill mostly. And the Giant Rex is there for like the combo with Snow and the Pill to get an extra monster on the field, or like a rank 4. And I also play the one Dogeron just because it's searchable with the Overraptor. Kaiju's I Hate Masterpiece, good card. Next we play a Zombie Engine, 3 Mezikis, 2 Unizombie, 1 Spirit Master, and 2 Solitaire. I would play 3 Solitaire, but I don't have enough room, oddly enough, in a 60 card deck. Your Solitaire gets you access to your Unizombie, which gets you access to your Meziki, which is a 1 card Omega or a 1 card rank 4. It's pretty nutty. When Needle Fiber comes out, it's a 1 card Needle Fiber. It's actually insane. I can't wait for Needle Fiber to come out, honestly. That's going to be so good when I can play Synchrons again. But I digress. The Spirit Master's in here solely just for the Snow, to get the, along with the combo with, what's it called, with Giant Rex to get rank 4 plus a pop. And also with the Solitaire, it's like a rank 4. It's a 3 level 4s, a pop, and you Book a Moon something, which is pretty good. Next we play the Cream and Butter 3 Snow. Card is absolutely insane. This card should not be at 3. I don't know what the hell they were thinking when they made this. They thought Tsukiyomi but on crack. But alright. And it's also a really great extender. Next we got the best normal summon in the deck. 3 Scorpio and the 1 Garnet that it plays. Adding Brilliant Fusion is actually insane. You know, Brilliant Fusion just allows so many stupid things to happen with this deck. Allows you to go off so hard. Allows you to make some dumb boards like Amaterasu, like 2 Snows and Graves with Conductor, Qualtis, and like Omega, or just like a draw 4 from Sergio if you get the Soul Charges. It's absolutely insane. Next we got 1 Juggler, 1 Clown, and 1 Juggler, 1 basically a Clown engine from back in the day. Except this guy's not at 3. I wish this guy was at 3. This card is actually really nutty.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. Basically just to send us off the Brilliant Fusion or mill this and add this. Same thing with it. This is just to like send off the Brilliant Fusion with the 1,000 plays for the stupid combo for the rank 4 Curious play. We want 1 Gigantes because it's a heavy storm if it dies by battle, which never really happens that often because you're always just like using this off for, like to extend your combo or like make a rank 4 because you can banish your Giant Rex and just have a rank 4 there. And also it's just a relatively good card to have. It's a nice extension. We also got the 1 Challenger 1000 Blade to summon off the MX Invoker and to combo off with the Clown to make a rank 4. 1 Bulb because Glow Bulb is a pretty good card. You can get a lot of utility off this card. It not only is it an Earth from Mrs. Radiant and like allows you to go with Curious, but like sometimes you can use this for synchro plays or like link plays. It's pretty good. Next we play 3 Hand Trap, just the 3 Ash. I don't really see any need to like do more because you want to go first most of the time with this deck, and also because Conductor Tyranno can break a lot of boards just by himself because he just books a moon everything, and then you just don't really have to worry about anything that isn't spell or trap or hand traps. But yeah, only 3 Ash just because also it's a zombie, so it synergizes with the Meziki. And yeah, you usually add it back off the Amaterasu. Next you play the Bricky Boy and 3 fusions. You always search this off the Predaplant, or you just bait the Predaplant so you can have this free from an ogre. This card is absolutely nuts. It allows the second normal summon, of course, and allows so many stupid ways to extend your combos with a clown and juggler and what's it called, wolf. Next, play draw card, 3 Pot of Desires.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you want to see all your cards in this deck. Well, you don't really want to see all of them, but like Desires, you want to make sure you don't break.
Right.
Desires is strict +1 once you play it. If it doesn't get ashed, strict +1. Those 10 cards you banished, you're not gonna see them 90% of the time.
Yeah, of course.
There have been times where like, yeah, I banished my Garnet and I drew into Brilliant Fusion. Now my Brilliant Fusions are dead. But half the time this does help me. Like most of the times I've done this, I draw into an Ash and a Soul Charge. I'm just like, I win. This card is absolutely nuts. Yeah. Next we got 3 Charge and 3 Solo Recharge. This is mostly to search out your Raiden and draw cards, and this is for like if you have a wolf in your hand, or like if you have a Raiden already normal summoned, or like you have no way to get the Raiden out, you just like pitch it, draw 2, mill 2, and then mill 3. So basically this right here is like 5 mills just off like kind of just like 1 card interaction. Nah, not really, but more like basically just like 5 mills if you have like cards in your hand, really. And it's a way to get new cards as well. Next we got 3 Fossil Dig to search your Oviraptor. Sometimes you do search the Giant Rex. That is if you already have the Oviraptor, but like that never happens. 2 Pill, so to summon out your Conductor or your Qualtus. Usually you're summoning Qualtus off of this. It's pretty good. Allows you to make some dumb things, and it's basically a good way to end your board with. And also it's another way to bait out Ash in a sense, just because they don't want you to have the big beater out. So just like Ash negate. So you're just like, all right, cool. I'm just gonna grass now. 1 Foolish Burial, 1 win card, and 1 win card. Not really much to say about these cards aside from milling like 20 cards is free. I mean, pretty good. Monster Reborn, all my monsters back is pretty good, and Foolish Burial, set of my grave is pretty good. Next we go to the extra deck. We play. Hold on. Where is it? There it is. So we're playing the 1 Seraph Knight for the Brilliant Fusion, the 1 MX Saber and Boku for the Predaplants combo, 1 Boguska in case your hand bricks, 1 Tornado Dragon for like any pendulum matchup, like clearing out back row and all that, 1 Abyss Dweller for the mirror, or like mostly for the mirror, and also to like just get like free detaches out. No, shut up, no Fire Kings. 1 Logia for an extra negate on the board, because negating a Masterpiece summon is pretty good. 1 Amaterasu for not only to extend your combo during your turn, but during your opponent's turn, you can add back like a hand trap you banished, and it's just like you kind of just did. And basically, your opponent would just be like, oh well, now I have to watch out for that. Next we got Lynx. We got 1 Mrs. Radiant for the combo, 1 Curious, and 1 Scaldred. I don't personally feel the need to add any more, just because the extra deck is already super tight, but like these are really the only cards that you'll ever actually go into in terms of Lynx, because your main deck monsters are good enough to win games by themselves. Mrs. Radiant just for the Predaplants, Curious to mill stuff, and then Scaldred for combo and draw into Soul Charge. Next we play Synchros. We play 1 Red Dragon Archfiend. This is mostly I put this in as a joke at first, but then I realized, I've actually summoned this a couple times and kind of just won games off of it, because it's just like, oh, I have a full field of special summon monsters. Is it good?
Yeah, go.
All right, so as I was saying, I put this in as a joke, just because it's like, oh, it's another level 8 that I can make, and I couldn't really think of another like rank 4 or like Link monster put in, because like I'm just really bad at this game. But I said, oh, you know what, this could be pretty cute. Like, it's a good way to end games. I've actually ended so many games with this so far. Of course, it's not even funny, because most of the times my opponent will be like, oh, they're like clinging on by like 1,000 or so, and I'm just like, oh, so I can make Red Dragon Archfiend. I'll make this, and I'm gonna blow up my board so you die. So, because most of the time my entire board is like less than 3,000, so that's like at least a good 2k damage, which is pretty good. Then I play 1 Omega. I don't like playing more than 1 Omega, honestly, just because, well, It's more of like the extra deck space is already really tight, so I don't really know what else to cut. And I kind of don't want to cut anything else until like Needle Fiber comes out, where I'll just add some really dumb stuff in here. But it's a good card like to do like turn 1, find out what your opponent is, and then make plays from there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good card. And also brings back your banish stuff too.
Of course.
And you play 1 Beals because True Draco, fuck that deck. I hate that deck. I hate Masterpiece.
Man, you gotta play Beals, bro. Always, bro. Always.
Yeah, this card's always really good to make in this deck, and also like pretty good against Trickstar because they can't kill it.
Give the shout out to me.
I just don't like Masterpiece honestly because that deck has been really annoying recently. This deck kind of loses to it like low key. It's just like if you don't have the right ways to get around all the stuff that they have with the Masterpiece and make this, then you kind of just are at a really bad disadvantage. Next, we got 1 Black Rose. This is like the GOAT card because I once did. So I was under anti-spell one time against True Draco. They didn't have Masterpiece up, thank God. All they had was a Majesty Maiden, Ignis Heat, Diagram, anti-spell, flip Terry's up, and like 2 set cards. And none of them were like any summon negates or effect negates. So I normal summon Solitaire, I had a Mezuki and Unizombie in Graves, banished Mezuki, special summon Unizombie, make this. And I drew for turn, and it was Grass. So I make this, they have 13 cards in deck, and I mill for 36, and I just win that game, so it was funny. And lastly, the 1 Minerva, just because this deck kind of revolves around it. You only really need to play 1, because you detach 1, you mill 3, you kind of it just gets you plays. It's a good card. Off to the side deck, 3 D-Barrier for Pendulum, 3 Ogres for really anything that might get hurt easily, like ABC or Diagram, assuming they don't have Rocky Boy out, or also for the Pendulum Mirror. Lancia, this is really good against the Mech Knight, Mech Knight Invoke matchup, just because you can't really control much from your graveyard when they activate the what's it called, invocation if you don't have a snow in the grave. So you just chain this to the invocation. Like sure you can't really snow them, but like their entire deck revolves around banishing themselves, so you kind of just stop them like right there unless they have like other ways to get around it, as in like an Alistair and like a fire, or like an Alistair and a light in hand. And usually most of the times they don't want to do that. Next we got 3 Droll, mostly for like like Trickster, or also for Mech Knight Invoked. Does a good number on them because they rely heavily on searching, so you just like stop them right there. And then lastly 3 Call by the Grave, because this deck hates Ash, and also for the Trickstar matchup because they always do Droll, Reincarnation Droll, and you hate that. So this is actually stupid in this deck. This deck heavily needed this, and only reason why I picked this deck back up is because of this card. Yeah. Yeah, that's the deck.
Alright, cool. Is there, what deck is this called again?
It's called Dino Lightsworns. Also, I want to give shout outs to Nikolai for this Beals.
I got you.
Yeah.
Of course. Alright, guys. As always, like, subscribe to Teen Time Runners, and we'll get back to you all later.